so much for coming through for another video. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, girl. So, as you can see, I'm in my office, and I'm getting today's chapter in. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit behind, but not really. I took last weekend off, and I didn't write anything at all last weekend on Friday, on Saturday, or on Sunday. Friday was husband's birthday, and Saturday we went and did some stuff with the family, and then on Sunday was actually Mother's Day, and we were doing more stuff with the family. So I didn't write it all last weekend, and as of this upcoming Tuesday, I will have 10 released works, whether it's a novella or an actual story or just one of my short stories and my sex tape chronicles that I just started putting out this year. But as of this upcoming Tuesday, I will have 10 released works. And by the end of the year, by the end of 2026, the goal is to have 17 released works, including short stories, novellas, and regular stories. So I'm on pace, but what that means for me as someone who is also working a full-time job, I only write on the days that I'm not getting up to go to work. Because I know for me, my creative is at its high, it's at its peak in the morning, in those early hours, not long after I've been awake. That's when my creative author juices are flowing at their finest. So I like to get up and get a chapter in early in the day and then work on the other things, later in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, things like that. But I know when I'm getting up and I'm going to work, I'm not able to write a chapter before I have to get to work, and I'm not going to be at my best if I'm trying to write a chapter after I get home from work. So I don't write on the days that I go to work. I only write on the days that I'm off. And with my current job, I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So typically I'm able to get 3 chapters in a week. And keeping that in mind in my writing schedule, I should be able to finish this upcoming book that I'm currently writing. I'm actually almost done. I only have a few chapters left. I'll be able to finish next weekend, and then I'll go right into my editing process. And this book that I'm currently writing on will be released in June, so just over a month. And like I said, I'm almost done. Normally I have a little more time in between when I'm finished writing a book and when it's released, but since I am writing short stories in between, the time that I would have to finish a book, edit it again, and then just have it sitting waiting for release day, that's those extra weeks are being filled with writing those short stories. So as soon as I finish writing this book, I'm gonna go into editing, get it ready for release next month, and then I'll be writing my short story that'll be released in July, and then I'll also write my short story that'll be released in August, and then I'll go right into writing my next book that'll be book 2 in this series that'll be released in September. So in order to stay on track, I don't really have a lot of weekends where I'm not writing, which actually is not really a bad thing for me. I love writing. I wish I could write more than just 3 days a week, but having weekends like last weekend where I'm taking off writing to spend time with my family and do things like that, I'm always about that, and I'm always going to put my family first, or at least people in my family that deserve to be put first. But when I have weekends where the first thing I do when I get up earlier than I would be getting up to go to work, and I'm excited to get up and I'm excited to get to that next chapter, those are the weekends that really do it for me. So I think that's why my creative juices flow so good in the morning, because I'm so excited to get up and write again, and I have my ideas just kind of ready to flow as soon as I sit down. So that's kind of what works for me, especially as somebody who is working a full-time job, and I am writing at this point. When I first started writing in summer of, when I first started taking my writing journey seriously, as far as, starting and finishing, that was summer of 2024. And I was working part-time then. So I had more mornings to get up and write. And now that I'm working full-time again, I have less mornings to get up and write and more mornings to get up and go work for somebody else. And this particular year, 2026, I'm working more. I'm also writing more. I'm writing less days per week, but I'm writing more days per month, if you will, since I'm not taking breaks. After I finish each project, I'm going right into the next one. I'm working for somebody else more. I'm writing for myself more, and I'm releasing more. So it is a lot mentally, and having weekends like last weekend where I'm taking off to spend time with family, it's also good for my mental, because work has been really busy right now. So to have, days off where I'm not staring at a screen and I'm not, you know, overworking myself mentally is definitely needed. Even though I enjoy writing so much, it is important that I still find time to take those breaks, even though I'm trying to stay on schedule. So far, so good. And everything should still go along according to plan, but it's still important to me that I don't get burned out, especially also as a content creator. You know, someone who's creating and editing not just books and short stories and things like that. I'm also creating and editing content, which is also something that I love. But trying to make room for everything is definitely all about balance, because that may not necessarily look like what it looks like for the next content creator and author that's working full time. I am finding my rhythm and what works for me, and just how to make it all work and how to make it all make sense mentally, physically, spiritually, and it's all coming together. So I am going to get back to the last of my little strawberry and mandarin yogurt parfait and finish up this chapter. Husband is out running his own errands right now, but when he gets back, we're going to take a road trip up to Buc-ee's. I say road trip, it is technically out of town, but it's about 45 minutes away. So we're going to go over to Buc-ee's and get some sandwiches for lunch. We were going to try to work it into his birthday weekend last weekend, but we had so much other stuff going on. We decided to just push it to this weekend since we still have some days off together. So that's what we're going to be doing when he gets home in probably a couple hours still. But that is all I got going on. Thank you so much for spending the weekend with me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.